America is the wealthiest country on earth, not by a little, but by a lot. And it certainly didn't happen by accident. It happened because of a set of ideas, behaviors, and systems that millions of Americans, as well as the government, adopted over generations and generations. And so, in this video, we're going to break down 5 lessons that any person inspiring to build wealth should be aware of, based on what made everyday Americans literally become millionaires, and based on what made the US government the wealthiest one on earth. So, without further ado, let's get started. Lesson number 1. Ownership is power. This is something that separates America from a lot of other countries. Regular people own pieces of companies. Not just the rich or the hedge fund managers, but regular everyday people. I'm talking about teachers, nurses, or even truck drivers. The profits from the richest companies on earth are shared with regular McDonald's employees. And this is one of the reasons 1 out of 10 American is a millionaire. The American stock market is the largest in the world. Companies like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and Google didn't just grow because they had good products. They grew because they had access to capital from millions of shareholders who believed in them early and stayed patient. And in return, those shareholders got to participate in the growth. Someone who believed in Nvidia in 2015 and invested $2,000 in the company is now a millionaire in 2026. That's the deal. You give a company a small piece of your money, and as the company grows, so does your wealth. This teaches us that you don't have to build a billion-dollar company to benefit from one nowadays. 100 years ago, that kind of access didn't exist for ordinary people. Now it does. Now, the second lesson is that compound interest over decades is undefeated. This is probably the most underestimated wealth-building habit, the process of earning interest on your interest. It doesn't feel exciting in year 1, or year 3, or even year 7, but give it time, and it becomes something almost impossible to believe. This is the true reason rich people get richer. Here's a real example. If you put $100 a month into an investment account today, earning an average of 10% per year, and you do that for 30 years, you'll end up with about $207,000. In this scenario, you only put in $36,000 of your own money. This gives you about $171,000 in profit. Now, let's say you wait 10 years to start. You figure you'll catch up by investing $200 a month instead of $100, and you'll do so at the same 10% return over 20 years. In this case, you'll end up with around $145,000, while you put in $48,000 of your own money. That's only $97,000 in profits. So as you see, you invested more but ended up with less, because you missed out on decades of growth. That's the lesson. Starting matters more than how much. Time in the market beats timing the market, every single time. America's investing culture understands this deeply. The idea of putting money away every paycheck, whether it's into a retirement account, an index fund, or any brokerage account, is baked into the financial mindset of a lot of successful Americans. They start early, they stay consistent, and they don't panic when markets go down temporarily. That's created real wealth over time. Lesson number 3. Taking risks is necessary for greatness. America actually has more business bankruptcies per year than almost any other country in the world. Thousands of companies fail every single year. And yet, it's also the country with the most successful entrepreneurs and the most billion-dollar companies. How does that make sense? It makes sense because failure and success aren't opposites in entrepreneurship. They're part of the same process. Exactly as how you need to fall to learn to walk. America, more than most places, has built a culture where failure isn't the end of the story, but a chapter of someone's story. You can start a business, watch it fail, learn from it, and start another one. The system is designed to allow that since bankruptcy laws protect people enough to try again, and culturally, a failed business on your resume is often seen as experience, not shame. Think about it like sports. Not every shot goes in, not every play works, but if you never shoot, you never score. And sometimes, all you need is one goal to win the game. That's exactly how many of the world's most successful companies were built. These companies survived because the people running them kept taking calculated risks even when things weren't working. The lesson isn't to be reckless. It's to stop letting the fear of failure keep you from ever starting. Lesson number 4. Debt can be your greatest asset if you use it correctly. Now, there is good and bad debt, so let me explain a bit. Consumer debt, like having credit cards debts, car loans, or financing things you can't afford, can destroy your finances. But there's another kind of debt, and America uses it constantly to build serious wealth. It's called leverage, and when you understand it, it changes the way you see money. The best example of this is probably real estate. Let's say you want to buy a property worth $100,000, but you don't have the money. In America, You don't need to have it right away. You can put down $20,000, which is 20%, and the bank lends you the rest. Now you control a $100,000 asset with only $20,000 invested. You rent it out, and the tenant pretty much pays the remaining $80,000 with interests over the next 20 years. After the 20 years, the debt is paid off, and the house might be worth $200,000. Do you see what happened here? You put yourself into $80,000 in debt, but you used it intelligently, and 20 years after you made over $180,000 in profit, in my quite basic example. So the secret is that if you know how to use debt to create wealth, there's almost no reason not to do so if you're disciplined. The fifth lesson is that you can't become successful without budgeting and doing long-term planning. America doesn't have the strongest social safety net when you compare it to a lot of developed countries like Canada, Australia, and all of Europe. I mean, healthcare isn't universally covered, retirement isn't automatically taken care of, and if something goes wrong, like a job loss, a medical emergency, or a market crash, a lot of Americans are on their own. And while that's genuinely stressful for many people, it's also created something remarkable not seen in many countries. A large population of people who are extremely focused on their personal finances out of necessity. Successful Americans tend to be very offense-oriented with their money. They don't just think about what they spend, but they think about what they keep, what they grow, and what they protect. That means planning for taxes by understanding legal ways to reduce what you owe. That means setting investment allocations by deciding in advance how much goes to retirement accounts, index funds, or real estate, and actually following through. That also means building an emergency fund, so that one unexpected expense doesn't derail your entire financial plan. And speaking of budget planning, if you want to start tracking your income and expenses to find ways to save extra hundreds or even thousands of dollars per month to invest in the next Amazon or Facebook, I suggest you start with Budget Planner's books. I personally started to save hundreds of dollars per month when I realized how much I waste on Uber Eats when I started using these notebooks. If you want to order some for yourself on Amazon, I have links in the video description. If you buy one, it would directly support the channel as well. Now, if you found this video useful and you want me to make more content like this, give this one a like. And if you want to see more similar content, watch one of the videos showing on your screen right now. I'll see you on the next one.